Hello, good evening, everyone, all over the world. We're grateful. I'm Ron Marshall, BITM production, founder Sharon Curry, founded in 1992 and worked out Los Angeles, California via Little Rock, Arkansas. And BITM is an organization where I was founded upon helping people to help themselves. It's a nonprofit organization and the nonprofit organization, and also it's tax exempt. So this organization has been around and doing a wonderful job in the communities and in the public for helping people help themselves. I'm Ron Marshall, and I'll be just conversating on this segment of BITM. BITM is a channel coming to you where we'll be hosting artists, we'll be hosting musicians, legendary and some known, unknown, and have some shows available for you as well. But this evening I just want to talk a little bit about love and savaging the loss. Love and savaging the loss. Oftentimes, we don't savage out of our experience, but we take the pain and hurt from our experience through life. And in so doing, it sparks about limitations and can develop illusory by way of pictorial means with a supplicated attitude with discreetness that bringeth forth the eloquence of emotion. And in so doing, it can create limitations to the point where you limit yourself because you only take out of the experience either a high good point or either a bad point. But for the most part, salvage how God led you through the experience, whether good or bad. Take that with you and treasure that and see to it in your lives all over America, all over the world. See to it in your lives that you don't throw away valuable people and valuable things because you don't have time to give observation. Well, Jesus said, teach them to observe all things. All things is all things. Let us keep all things in remembrance that were conducive to us to deliver us from one phase to another out of our struggles. Now, struggle is not the characteristics or the character of the believer. Struggle was the character of those that roamed in detrosis in humanity or in an earthly sense. But for the most part, when we start concentrating on the lifestyle of Jesus as it is in heaven, so it is on the earth, well, then we take on another mentality and a mythology that's different from humanity and agnosticism and academicism. We take on the attributes of perfection. Now, it doesn't all the time just clothe us like we put on a jacket, but then there is a practice of the attributes of perfection, and you first must know what they are. That simply is the fruits of the Spirit. That means your lifestyle on a 24-hour span, you're living your life, your action, your ways, as they say, is like the fruits of the Spirit. Love, peace, joy, righteousness, temperance, faith, tolerance, long-suffering, faith, goodness, and against such there is no law. But there is a practice for that to become actually your daily process and your characteristics. Yes, when you agree to practice this lifestyle, then your lifestyle as you known through conception habit and culture habit and your environmental upbringing will begin to change to the point where you will notice the change on the inside of you, and then your everyday surroundings will also understand the change, because the change brings about information that take individuals to the next level of thinking from where they are. So that is to say, if you came into Jesus and you've been into the way of perfection, walking his lifestyle, practicing it on a daily basis, then that means people come in your presence can be engulfed into Jesus, because the lifestyle of him and his spirit and he gives you the informative information. Lo, I'm with you always, even to the end of the world. That means every moment, every hour, every second, Jesus is with us. And if we acknowledge him in our ways, God ways, as we practice the fruits of the Spirit, it doesn't mean that every day you're going to be up, 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 but you'll yet be climbing up. You may not make 3 steps up the ladder, but you'll make 1, or you'll make 2. But however many you make, Jesus is there with you. Now, salvage the loss. Just grab a hold to everything God done good for you and every experience that you can think back on. Now, every experience that some of you are locked in, which was trauma and which was atrocities of your life, well, then even in that, look at that and see how God brought you out. Even where the devil got you locked in your conscience, he's playing one bad situation that happened to you that was bad and emotionally upset you. Even in that point that the devil got you locked into, look for God in that situation. See where God delivered you, or look now, you being alive out of that terrible situation that everybody said you should have been dead. But look at how God intervened and brought you out. So salvage the loss. If God brought you out, then grab hold to God and move forward in life. In other words, if you went to prison, or if you had a bad deal in politics where you messed up and it threw you out of office, or if you were a policeman that caught with fraud, or if you was a governor that was caught with fraud, or if you was a fireman or a garbage man and you made a mistake in life, woman or male, well then look in this situation, even how terrible it was, see where God brought you out, and take hold to God and carried it away from the salvage as a win-win-win situation. And notice where you are, how God is still there, salvaging the loss. Salvage the loss out of your experiences, and watch and see, don't you win with knowing that God has been with you through every one of your experiences. So since he's been with you, if you're single, if you're married, if you're thinking about marriage, if you're in a relationship for as conversing with a male and a female, or but even way, but as say, well, look, God is the one who have brought me to this point. So in all of my experience, he have been the winner of my experience. No one else, not friends, not families, not relationship. God has been the person that everyone on this earth at one time or another have prayed to for deliverance. And he said he owns the world and the fullness thereof, and they that dwell therein. Now, moving into another horizon of intellect, what it does, it enhances your lifestyle. Surely so, if you can practice the attributes of God's Spirit and watch them carry you. Now, salvage where you're going. Every experience, observe it and understand where God is, and follow him and go his pathway, and then your life takes on a new meaning. You're talking about wealth. Jesus was resurrected from the dead and carried up to New Jerusalem, the city of gold, where he and God is right now. So if they're in the city of gold and he given us abundant life and he's been glorified to sit with God, then guess what happens with us? Abundant, glorified, whatever the heart desires, simply because he said, I'll give you the desires of your heart. God got everything to give us, whereas people, whereas things, whereas development of some delusion of chicanery, it all dissipates. Savage the loss. I'll be back at you. BITM production. Well, somebody might say, well, how do I get in touch with the people at BITM Production? How do I get in touch with Miss Sharon Curry? Well, if you dial 501-490-2553, that's 501 area code 490-2553, Miss Sharon Curry. Then you can call me for production, for recordings, for books. Call me at 501-779-5417. America, all over the world, I love you, and that's all I got for you is love and an opportunity. But you got to talk to me. We come on, and it's upstream. We come on the station on every Thursday from 1 o'clock to 2 p.m. We come on open stage. It's a show for where I live at in Little Rock, Arkansas, the local talent to come on the show, and we play their music on air, which is a part of BITM production, along with KABF 88.3 FM. That's Miss Sharon Curry, founder of production, CEO of BITM production. Then that's Wade Rackett, owner and president of KABF 88.3 FM, and also Mr. John Carey, program director, Brian. All of them are there. So we urge you, heretically, give us a call, talk to us, and let's make some things happen together. All right? Savaging in the lost, I found out with Jesus, hand in hand, togetherness, oneness, then the Holy Ghost lead us and guide us into always, all truth. He always there. All right, savaging the lost, what you thought was lost.